Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez have changed the game when it comes to foam fingers. Because the two stars played around at a foam party days before exchanging bling for their ring fingers. The major couple was spotted on Jeff's mega yacht, the Kourou, off the coast of Europe Sunday, partaking in a lavish foam party for Lauren's son Evan's 19th birthday. JB and Els were covered in suds on the deck, engaging in a little PDA a few days before their star-studded wedding. Most of their bodies are covered in foam. But it seems Lauren's wearing just a tiny little bikini and Jeff's keeping up on his workouts, looking pretty darn muscular. The whole group enjoyed a big dinner to celebrate Evan, though we imagine the glasses were raised to the soon-to-be husband and wife duo once or twice. If you don't know, Bezos and Sanchez are getting married in Venice soon, and sources with direct knowledge told us they're staying at the Iman Venice, a hotel in the city. The hotel is fully booked up from Wednesday, June 25th to Sunday, June 29th, and guests will be staying there. There are conflicting reports regarding weather. Bezos and Sanchez are getting married on the Kourou, or in a church. So we'll have to wait and see if it's a priest or a sea captain handling the ceremony. Bezos and Sanchez got engaged in May 2023. And we put all their most important moments as a couple into a video timeline for you to peruse. The Bezos wedding is just days away. Hopefully, they've got enough foam for all their guests, too. But that little summary only scratches the surface of what went down and what's brewing just over the romantic Italian horizon. The truth is, when Jeff Bezos throws a birthday party, he doesn't just rent a venue or throw up a few streamers. No, he parks one of the most expensive yachts in the world in the middle of the sea. Floods its polished decks with enough foam to engulf a beach club, and make sure every camera on board captures the love, the luxury, and the symbolism. Because for Jeff and Lauren, every moment is a statement. And this foam-covered Sunday was less about birthday cake and more about stepping into their future, one sudsy kiss at a time. The Kourou itself, stretching over 400 feet, is no ordinary yacht. It's a moving monument, a sculpted fantasy of wood and metal with masts so tall they needed special permits to be built. It's rumored the interior was inspired by Polynesian peace philosophies, with hardwood floors, cream linens, and natural fibers. But all of that serenity was momentarily forgotten as party music throbbed under the Mediterranean sun and foam cannons went wild. On the top deck, Lauren danced barefoot, her dark curls damp and sticking to her glowing skin. Her bikini, minimal as it was, glittered slightly under the foam. She wasn't just celebrating her son's 19th, she was radiating joy. Not the performative kind, but the real stuff. The kind you don't fake even when the world is watching. Jeff by her side had dropped the billionaire CEO posture and leaned into full fun mode. Shirtless, chest out, arms around his future stepson, he looked not like a mogul but like a man trying to live in the moment. His laugh was loud, his smile unguarded. Evan, the birthday boy, looked both thrilled and a little amused, as most teens probably would be when their mom and her mega-rich fiancé starts salute-dancing under a shower of foam. But there was also something poignant in the way Jeff clapped Evan on the back or leaned in to say something only the two of them could hear. The gesture wasn't just about family merging for the public eye. It was Jeff trying to step into the role of protector, partner, and maybe even father figure around them. Guests sipped on cocktails served in delicate crystal glasses, the kind most people only see in art museums. The champagne, chilled to a perfect degree, flowed like water. Waiters in white linen uniforms moved silently across the yacht, delivering trays of hors d'oeuvres so artfully presented they looked like edible sculptures. And yet, amid all the glamour, the real show was the connection between Jeff and Lauren. For a couple constantly photographed, endlessly analyzed, and occasionally criticized, this moment wasn't for anyone else. It was theirs. When Jeff dipped Lauren back in a playful mock tango, the foam caught the sunset just right, creating a scene that felt more cinematic than real. There were cheers, phones raised, and a soundtrack of collective envy from everyone not lucky enough to be there. Later that evening, after the foam had been rinsed off and the deck had been cleared of bubble residue, the birthday dinner began, under a string of golden lights strung across the Koru's open-air dining area. The table stretched for nearly 20 feet, adorned with pale pink roses, flickering candles, and menus hand-lettered in cursive gold ink. One seat, conspicuously placed at the head of the table, bore a gold 19 instead of a name, a tribute. To Evan. Jeff, in a crisp white shirt now, raised his glass to toast the teen. But, like all good speeches, his words quickly veered into emotion. He talked about watching Evan grow up from a distance, about respecting the bond between mother and son, about how family is chosen and built and protected. Lauren, dabbing at her eyes, reached for Jeff's hand under the table. There were no press cameras here, just friends, family, and a level of intimacy you can't fake, not even if you're the richest man on earth. The evening closed with a private acoustic performance by a mystery guest, rumored to be someone who headlines sold-out stadium tours. The music was soft, nostalgic. People swayed, wine glasses gently clinking, stars hanging overhead like glittering confetti. If there was a theme for the night, it wasn't just celebration, it was convergence. It's a blending of lives, families, futures, and then, of course, came the whispers of the wedding. Venice, that floating dream of a city, was already buzzing with quiet chaos. The Aman Venice, a historic palace-turned-ultra-exclusive hotel, was completely booked out. Locals speculated every time a water taxi cruised past its entrance. Was that George Clooney? Tay? Could that be Beyoncé? The guest list was shrouded in mystery, but the energy was undeniable. And even though conflicting reports surfaced, would it be the yacht or the church? A priest or a captain? One thing was clear. This wedding was not just going to be extravagant. It was going to be a cultural moment. Some Italian residents raised eyebrows, quietly protesting the scale of the event. There were rumors of closed canals, altered traffic patterns, even airspace restrictions. But love, especially the Jeff and Lauren kind, tends to create ripples far beyond the couple themselves. And in true Bezos fashion, every detail, from the imported orchids to the hand-stitched invitations, rumored to include embedded chips for digital security, was executed with precision. As the days wound down toward the ceremony, the couple remained aboard the Koru, tucked away from the prying eyes of the mainland, still surrounded by select guests. More dinners, more laughter, quiet moments with the kids. One sunset evening, Lauren was spotted standing at the railing, wrapped in a silk robe, staring out at the horizon. Jeff joined her moments later, draping his arms around her shoulders. They didn't speak, at least not audibly, but their silhouettes were enough. It was a portrait of peace before the parade, and finally the wedding day arrived. The exact details, carefully shielded from the public, began to leak in pieces. Some said it was on the yacht. Others swore they saw a priest exit a gondola. There were no official photos, but guests posted cryptic hints. A shot of a floral arch, a champagne flute engraved with the initials JL. The soft shadow of a wedding veil against ancient Venetian stone. In the end, maybe it doesn't matter where they said "I do." What matters is how. With conviction, with clarity, with the unshakable knowledge that, for all their wealth, the real treasure is the life they're building, one foam-filled kiss at a time.